Episode 3 of 3 for Fender
days.
Fender Day. So this is Scott. We are round having a look at Scott's guitars, and I brought my camera over. This is Fender Day.
Yes.
So
nice ones here.
Go for yourself first. This is a Fender. This is a Telecaster, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, it's 2012.
Right.
Or was it 2013? You tell me.
Z31.
13.
It's definitely Z3.
Z3113.
Oh right, Z313. Yes.
It's 13. 2013.
That would make sense. With the
2003.
Z3.
I can't remember, but anyway, it's an 8502, which is a fairly specific guitar. It's a collectible sidey thing. It's got a one-piece ash body, as you can see.
I can see that. I don't think it's going to show up in the picture, but it's got that the transparent where you can see the grain.
At it, you can kind of see the way that the lacquer settles into it.
Oh.
It's got all of that on the front as well, and it's got a nice ding on it. See that?
Oh.
Yeah. So this is an 8502, which is basically the top of the range in the Fender catalogue. So if you look up Telecasters in the catalogue of that time, this was the top of the range Telecaster.
Right.
So it's got a single piece, quarter sawn maple neck.
Right. I don't think you had this when we did this video last.
We did,
Did I suggest you about Tele? No, I don't. I will go back and check.
Maybe my daughter had it.
I think that's possible.
Yeah, but it's a quarter sawn maple one piece neck.
Right.
With huge frets, and it's a nitrocellulose body, and
it's got string round the pickup, so it's like a broadcaster pickup type.
Wound specifically for. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah. They only made them for a few years, and then they stopped making them because they were eating into the custom shop business.
Right.
People were buying them instead of the custom shop ones.
Right.
So they say it's the best one Telecaster ever made. Apparently, they say, I don't know, but it's a mighty fine Telecaster. Definitely competition for your Schecter.
Oh, I'll get a good fight, yeah.
Definitely. But it's a lovely guitar. It's got, what's that switching called? This is a zero load tone.
Oh, right,
part,
yes.
So it's notched at that end.
Is it S1? S1's the word?
It's actually really useful. See, what have I got on just now? Yeah, it's really useful. When you've got it notches down, so that's basically that off and out of the circuit. So it's just hot all the way through. Really bright tele sound. Or you can just notch it back and it's just lovely. Neck pickups, lovely. It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's really lush.
Yeah.
But it's a really nice guitar.
Yeah.
Quite heavy.
I'm going to have a look up those the no load tone pots.
Yeah.
Because you've got a couple of guitars that have got them.
Yeah.
You've got a Strat that's got one as well.
Oh, yeah.
But
I've got a Strat from roughly the same time.
Aye.
Which
So
is roughly the same.
it can basically when you turn it off, it just kind of disconnects the.
Yeah.
It just bypasses it.
But you'll
It's like no having one.
You hardly even find these online now, do you? The 8502.
I've never even heard of an 8502.
No.
Sounds like a Beverly Hills thing.
Yeah. Rare as rocking horse poop.
Right.
It was bought in America, and I got it off of a guy who brought it from America to Inverness, and I bought it off of him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
Brilliant guitar. And it's one of these ones that'll be mine forever, never getting sold.
It's your telly, because everyone needs a telly.
Well, it's the best telly I've ever played. In fact,
Yeah.
it's the best telly.
I don't think I did. Have I shot this last time?
It's lovely. I mean, it's got a really nice.
It's quite heavy.
Yeah, it's got a nice chunk to it, and the neck's lovely, and it just sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm probably a wee bit biased.
Alright, yeah, it's got this to be the 7 1/4 inch radius.
And it rings out perfectly.
Yeah.
It's just such a lovely, comfortable guitar to play.
It's a little bit clean though, innit? I'd be really disappointed if I dinged it.
I've dinged it already, mate.
I know, I was really just winding you up. I would be really upset if I dinged this as well.
Mate.
It's very, very, very clean
Really?
feeling.
I would have taken a flick to the testicles over that corner bash, really. Look at it.
Which one? That one or that one is both bad?
Oh,
They both yours?
Yeah. Well, actually, that middle one's new from my daughter, but I'm not going to dig her up because you can't. I gave her a guitar to play. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't want to go down that line of it being a collectible guitar and nobody should play it. I let my 14-year-old daughter loose on my entire collection, by the way. So she takes them back to her mum's house and everything, and I'm very trusting.
Yeah.
But you'll agree it's a lovely Tele guitar.
It's a really nice tele.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's nice. I'll give it that.
Yes, it's very nice. Blonde, blackguard, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think is that a micro tilt adjustment in the neck?
It is, yeah.
Right. I didn't know they still did that. I thought it was like a 70s thing, then they gave up.
Basically, what they've done with that is they added the best appointment that was available at the time to the guitars. So basically, that's what makes it the top of the range. If you look at they're staggered as well. They're not normal.
Oh right, yeah. Yeah. Ah, there's 2 and 4.
Yeah.
So these 2 are longer and these 4 are shorter.
Yeah.
The Schecter has got 2, and then 2 middle ones, and then 2 really stumpy ones.
Ah.
Only because you said you put it up against me in a fight.
I think that might
Possibly.
I mean, the Schecter's a fine guitar.
It's definitely playing better than my Schecters just now because the strings on it must be 10 years old.
Yeah.
But
and that's got the hybrids set on it again, if any ball hybrids.
every time you mention it, I'm totally noticing it. I might give it a shot. There's actually a guy on Facebook selling strings cheap just now. You see that? He's selling them for £4 a set.
That's bloody
Ernie
good.
Balls, and he's got
The hybrids.
the 9s, 10s, and the hybrid 910s, and skinny top, low
Skinny
bottom.
top,
Or is that, are these skinny top, low bottom?
No, they're the hybrids. You get the other ones that are beefy top, skinny bottom, something.
Yeah. The
But
guy's selling 4 different sets. I think it's only £4 or £5 he's selling. I can't remember where he was. Was it Gartcosh? Cumbernauld or something?
That's
something
good if
like
you
that.
get them, jump on them. But the hybrids are quite good. A lot of people say you need heavier strings for tone, but no, you don't. Billy Gibbons, ask Billy Gibbons. He plays 6s, which is like a cobweb.
6?
6s, yeah. 6s. These bottom strings are 6. It's a cobweb, mate. And listen to him, he's bitching.
Yeah, I was trying to get talking about Craig and Black Sabbath again. Sabbath band trying to get him to play down tune to C sharp, and then use 8s.
Do you know there's actually a theory in going the other way that you use a slightly thinner top string to get a better tone when you're down to a D.
Yeah.
It works better if you use a heavier string. It can get muddy sounding.
Right. Whereas it get.
With
It's just
a guitar
what
string,
you get used to. I mean, the only reason we're used
But
to
those
these
are balanced. When you're pulling, I can bend and overbend and everything on that guitar, and it doesn't
Aye.
fit me anywhere. So
I don't.
if I put 10s on it, then it starts to basically fight you. It gives you resistance when you're bending, and you get sore fingertips. And who wants that? Who wants a sore fingertip?
My fingers were sore last night in the studio. Not the. It was the fingertips. Not the muscles. It was just the
fingertip. It's just overplaying, isn't it? But yeah, that's. But this could. Let's talk about this one.
Yeah, I'll talk about that one.
Right, yeah. What is this again?
It's a P bass.
Right, it's a P bass and it's Japanese. It's from the mid 80s.
Right.
And it's a 52, American 52 or something it's called. It's an old bass, so it's got the old appointments. You can see that it's got
The extra strap. The extra
strap.
tone button.
That's for tone, yeah.
Yeah.
Extra fat tone.
Is that actually? But it can't be from 52 because 52.
Oh no! It's just it's a reproduction.
No, I mean the 51 is the one that's got the big scratch plate in it.
Yeah.
And they done, so it was at 52 they went from
52.
basically from 52 to now a P bass is a P bass.
So this
basically,
so this is basically the first iteration of a PA. It's a copy of it, a Japanese one. So
yes.
It's better. Japanese means better.
I go for that. I like my Japanese stuff most
I've
definitely.
I've got American fenders. That's American.
Yeah.
They're American. This is Japanese, and I'd probably rate this above any other American shit.
Yeah. I would just see
the neck on this is really nice.
That's the strap button for because they'd only invented.
Well, it was stand-up bass players that first started playing.
That's because electric bass wasn't invented till 1951.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you put a strap on it?
So yeah, for the folk players, you can. I've never used it though.
No, I don't like. I would rather not put that weight on the neck.
No.
Really.
But this has got a really nice neck. It's what would you call that? A C profile, kind of modern C profile, but it's really quite nice.
It's basically, but again,
it feels
it's
quite
very.
modern.
It's the same as.
Sorry, there's nothing to repeat.
Cheeky. It's man.
Who are you sitting over there?
Somebody over there talking to us.
I don't know. Is that Dalek?
I think so. Anyway, yeah,
it's do you know we're talking about this going up against my Schecter. My Schecter's it's a 50. It's still got the Telecaster headstock.
Yeah.
but it's got an anodized scratch plate and the P bass pickup. But it's that exact dimension.
Carve, yeah. So it's a nice carve.
Whatever that is.
Because you get the 70s ones, and that's got a really deep C, and I don't really like that.
Yeah, or the jazz bass is pure horrible. Again, but the thing with these things is, see if you actually measure the distance.
Put the fingerprints all over
Yeah, if you actually measure the distance between between a really fat neck and a really thin neck, it is pure 2mm or something. Pure, it's a pure pathetic amount you can hardly measure, but it feels huge.
Aye, but this feels quite guitar-y to switch between guitar and bass. This is quite nice.
Yeah.
But again, an interesting bass that you can. I again would call this a value bass, a value Fender, because it's Japanese, but I don't think it is anymore, is it? I don't think it's a value bass anymore. I think you probably get better value a Mexican bass, but you're not going to get a bass like that.
Maybe where does value come in? You're not better off buying a £100 P bass.
No.
With the shit, the Squire. No, because you're not getting a pro level instrument, I suppose.
Well, but it's not that. The difference between those instruments and these is the finishing and time that goes into the neck. The frets and all of that sort of stuff. You get a cheaper guitar and it's basically a guitar neck. It's not been hand finished.
Well, you get to, if you spend all day yourself.
Yeah,
and you know
if
what
it's
you're
Japanese, doing. Japanese is as we know better. So.
No, Japanese are just it's ridiculously.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well, they've got a culture of crafts and stuff like that, and it really shows on.
They've got some pride in what they're doing.
Yeah. It's not just fired together willy nilly, but this is quite well spec'd. For a bass, the thing about it is it's got an American Fender pickup in it.
Right.
Which I've pushed in. You'll see that.
Yeah.
It's a slight injury at the moment. I need to get. It needs a new sponge.
Right.
The sponge is called.
The sponge goes. The sponge goes.
The sponge has went.
I used to be, if you ever when you get windows replaced, if you've ever, I used to replace windows occasionally. You get wee blue squares that they put all over the window.
Oh, the spacers.
They're not spacers. No, they're spongy things. You stick them actually on the pane, so that you stick two panes together.
Okay.
I'll give you a pair next time you're in at the house.
Yeah, but that's what that needs. You can see.
But these things are perfect because they're that size and they're sort of adhesive, so you can just stick 2 or 3 of them on, stick it on, bang, done.
I actually use it as a thumb rest. I've actually just pushed that in myself.
It's like that I use it surgical tubing. I think my Schecter, I replaced the surgical tubing in my Schecter because it had obviously turned to dust basically.
But this is a thumping loud stonker of a bass. It's really good. I've used this lots.
Yeah, is that your only bass just now, apart from the one that doesn't work? The Honor you in search for a neck for?
I think so. Yeah, well, yeah, there's that one there. I'm not set up.
That's the one.
It needs a new neck. If anybody's got a neck.
That's right. We talked about that last time. We never actually got round to it.
That's a jazz bass neck.
A jazz bass neck.
Which is essentially the pockets are essentially the same. It's just a different shape and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a jazz bass neck that's on that one. So any jazz bass neck, I'll be interested in.
Did you see the one? And it was another Honor one that had those exact pickups in it. My pal Buster got last week. He only paid 100. I don't want to tell him much. He didn't pay very much for it. Through neck, and that era, those pickups, but it had a sort of flying V headstock.
Alright.
And it was a slightly different. It wasn't a fender shape. It was a bit unique shaped. I don't really know what shape you call it.
It's an amazing bass, that it really is.
Yeah.
I get slagged off rotten for that. I better bring it in, let people see it.
Yeah.
No, I'll get it. You sit there. I'll sit right there, and I'll run out of
I wasn't offering. I was going to take the bass back. I could play the bass.
I'll grab this one.
I'll play some background music.
Yeah. I got a bit of a slagging.
Because you want that instead of a Fender?
Well, yeah, we were in CC Music when it used to be in Otago Street. And its old shop next to the river. It's actually the previous to where it actually round the corner when it used to be in Great Western Road before it was on Otago Street. I'm getting it mixed up. It used to be in Great Western Road just round the corner.
Really?
CC Music, yeah.
It's always been the same place,
Yeah, it used to be round the front next to the bridge.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright.
So I was in there and they had a P bass and they had this, which is a Honor JJ bass. Is that JJ in it? JJ.
I think it's J. It's got to be a JJ. A JJ. So jazz. It's not
Jackal Jazz.
Jackal Jazz.
It's because of not because it's fretless.
Alright, yeah. Alright. Okay.
Yeah, if you look at Jackal's bass, that's...
Is that a concentric knob or something? Yeah, concentric knob, right.
It's got all the modern accompaniments. It's got a 3-band EQ on it.
Right.
And it's really a nice bass, but the neck's completely I've sold it to someone. Now I bought this bass when I was 19, and the thing about the Fender bass, I strayed. The Fender bass was cheaper.
Wow.
Fender P bass. It was a second-hand 70s P bass. It's cheaper than this. I should have bought now,
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But this is actually a better bass, and it had a better neck, and it sounded better, and I played this bass live for years, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And it's lovely. I mean, it's what a maple top, isn't it?
Yeah, but now you look back at it, how much is the Fender worth? That's also exactly the same unit that's in my, well, it's a Horner as well. My what do you call it? The Steinbergery type thing.
Yeah, but
about the same era. Was it
you ever see one of
1987,
these?
86, something like that? So is it about then?
Yeah, as a bass player, if I ever saw one, I'd buy it without thinking about it.
Right.
Obviously, this one.
I really wish I'd showed you that one that my pal did the other day. It's not. It wasn't a jazz bass shape, but it was same. It was a Horner Professional.
Yeah, it's the guy who I sold it to tried to fix it, and he wound the truss rod so tight that it actually burst. And I got it back, and I could have cried when I saw the top of it. But I tried to fix it, and I really couldn't. I've tried to straighten it, and I've got it almost there, but it's always going to have
because it's
a bow in it.
It's in your head now that you've noticed it. It's like once you notice these things,
it bows. It just bows. It needs a new truss rod, and I don't know. But replacing truss rods on an X just
I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered doing that. No.
Yeah, so new neck. But if you ever see one of these, buy one. Great basses.
Yeah.
Really, really good bass.
I should have bought that one.
Yeah.
I still bought the other day.
I mean, even when the battery runs out on these, it runs passively as well.
Yes, so it's an active system, not active pickups.
Yeah, so you can switch between them.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. Shame it doesn't work.
Well.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the Fenders.
Worth a shot, I suppose. Yeah, well, we jam out then. That's been 15 minutes. I'll play the bass soon as I'm more of a bass player than a guitarist.
Me too, actually. It's weird. Everything that I've recorded, I've recorded more music on bass than I have guitar, which is a weird one. Yeah. I was a bass player and I've done how many albums? A few albums as a bass player. And I'll not tell you who they are, save myself the embarrassment. This sounds really nice, doesn't Just make it up. Yeah. 8502.
P-bass.
Japanese P-bass.
J02.
Great bass.
I don't know how the serials work in this era.
It's 80s, mid-80s. So whatever's the nearest to mid-80s.
Yeah, it doesn't really.
I think this is 2013 or it's 2003. I know this was made in the first year they started making the 8502.
Right. I've never 8502. The number rings a bell somewhere. What is it?
It's a cult kind of thing, a cult classic guitar.
No, I don't mean. I mean from something else, not from a guitar.
Maybe 5150. Eddie Van Halen.
It's not my bank number either. It's one of those ones.
Passport, maybe.
8502. It just sounds. That's what I said. It was like Beverly Hills 902. Maybe they just chose it because it was a nice sounding number. It had some sort of ring to it.
Yeah, but it's an amazing guitar.
It's lovely. Yeah.
It's an expensive guitar.
It's an expensive guitar.
Well, these when they were new back in 2000 and blah 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 was 1499 was the list price of it. So I don't know if you put the inflation calculator to that.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah, and they've appreciated in value as well, so these go for quite a bit of money.
I had no idea.
Yeah. It's me, I've not got it on.
It's also, is the string tree normally there as well?
Yeah. Well, it is on this model.
Yeah.
It's kind of specific to this one.
So it doesn't sit, so it doesn't interfere with the bit that says Fender?
Yeah, well I've actually got the bottom string off. That's just pure laziness. I knew I'd done that and I haven't put it back on again because I know it means detuning and retuning and I'm really lazy.
It sounds fine without it. Sounds fine without it.
It does.
Anyway,
Next.
rocking. I wonder if we're actually going to get through all of these, or whether I'm basically going to. We should probably watch one, make sure they've been working.
Yeah.
Instead we turn it on and there's no sound or something like that. Yeah, I've been sitting doing this for weeks. Catch you later.